வணக்கம். தெரியுறேனா?
Clear.
In the Kural, Thomas Hitoshi Pruikshma has brought Thiruvalluvar's Thirukkural to an English reading audience. There are other such translations, but after reading this one, I see little need to read them. Pruikshma has simply done that good of a job. The translation shows a love and respect for the original that even I, someone who hasn't read the original, can understand. The most obvious sign of his love of the Kural is his decision to translate it in the first place. It's not like a translator can do something like this simply for the money. Most translators will laugh at you if you believe that they're doing it for the money. It can only be done well if it is a labor of love, and it is clear from this translation that that's what this was. To be more specific, I think Pruikshma's adherence to the original form is what gives this translation its soul. Instead of doing a word-by-word translation, which of course would have been a challenge by itself, he added the constraint of making sure the English version matched the rules of Kurals as a form of poetry, such as its patterns of assonance and consonance or lack of punctuation. A word-by-word translation or a half-hearted attempt at matching the form would have resulted in a standard book of philosophy and ethics. That is not what this is. This is the Thirukkural as true to itself as it can be while wearing the vestments of a different language. Earlier, I mentioned that I haven't read the original, but that does not mean I have never been exposed to the Thirukkural. It may not be immediately obvious, but I was not just born to Tamil parents. They have raised me in a Tamil household, as close as one can get to living in a Tamil household when Tamil Nadu is on the other side of the planet. I am intentionally making the distinction between just having Tamil parents and being raised in a Tamil household because I want to explain that I am more than just familiar with Tamil. I have been praised in Tamil, scolded in Tamil, teased in Tamil, and loved in Tamil. My pronunciation may not always be perfect, and I may not always know or recall the right words, but my ears know Tamil. They are intimate with its natural rhymes and melodies. The bond I have with hearing it is such that Tamil songs have a comforting hold over me that English songs do not. Even though I admit the vast majority of my music library is composed of English songs, is just not the same. And it's not just Tamil music. Tamil dialogue, whether it's jokes or serious, is beautiful to me in a nostalgic way that English simply isn't. Now, what does this have to do with the Thirukkural or Mr. Pruikshma's translation of it? Well, having grown up in a Tamil household, I have heard the Thirukkural. My parents, mostly my dad, would recite one of the ones he had memorized whenever there was a situation at hand that matched it. Or I would be watching a movie and a Kural would be recited. In both those situations, I would have to go by context to understand what the Kural was intending because the level it was written in is far, far beyond my scope of Tamil. However, as the Kurals are poetry, the way they sound is also of paramount importance. Please excuse my pronunciation as I recite 3 Kurals that are particularly pleasing for me to listen to. Your experience may not be the same as I am the one saying them, but I trust that you have all heard these ones before and can call upon your memories. In praise of God, 1. Agara mudala eluthallam adi bhagavan mudathre ulagu. The glory of rain, 12. Tupparku tuppaya tuppaki tupparku tuppaya tum mare. Compassion, 248. Purulaatrar poopar orukal arulaatrar aatrar mar radal aridu. Before my brain even attempts to parse the meaning of what was just said, it hears everything as just sound. And what a beautiful sound it is even before it can be given meaning. The gentle confidence Thiruvalluvar wove into the Kurals and the intention choices in sound made the Kurals I recited and others settle into the mind as a pebble into a riverbed. My careful guess as to why it feels that way is because as humans, our brains love recognizing and creating patterns. It makes the world easier to process. Alliteration, rhymes, and other tools of poetry appeal to us on an instinctual level by giving us patterns. So I urge you all in the future to experience the Thirukkural as I do, as just sound. Let the words be music instead. Listen to Thirukkural's selection and arrangement as you would a composer. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten about Mr. Pruikshma. I believe that he experienced the Thirukkural as music, at least partially, because he made it a key aspect to bring into English. Or perhaps it was a different reason as to why he made sure to preserve it this way. Whatever it may be, I can say as an English speaker and listener, the Kurals are still pleasing to the ear after being translated. Here are a few of my favorites. I'm not worried about my pronunciation this time. Making food fit for feeding itself, food that feeds rain, the glory of rain, 2. Ponder and proceed, proceeding and then saying will ponder is folly. Clarity before action, 467. Friends who fit nothing friendly in fortune, fleeting in famine. So what if one gains or loses them? Harmful friendship, 812. And here we arrive at the other gift Pruikshma's translation of the Thirukkural has given me, comprehension. After appreciating the Kurals as beautiful sounds, my brain can then finally understand what is being said. Pruikshma's translation gives me and countless other English readers the opportunity to access art that is hundreds of years old. Not just an opportunity, a fair opportunity. Had he simply done a word-for-word translation or a contextual translation, it would have been a crippled version. The Thirukkural's form is as vital as its message. It is as grounded in its identity. Since Pruikshma has handed us both its form and message, English readers can think on the Thirukkural as their Tamil fellows can. That thinking becomes key when readers come to Kurals that have not aged well to match modern times. Many are heteronormative. Many offer a male perspective on the world. Many can be, at face value, seen as cruelly judgmental. By mentioning all this, I do not intend it as a criticism. I believe that no person, even Thiruvalluvar, can entirely escape being a product of their surroundings and time. What then? What do we do with the Kurals that no longer apply? Think. Interpret them as you wish. Isn't that what art is about? To perceive what is in front of us and come to our own conclusions. The Thirukkural is art first and foremost, and it must be approached as such. Outdated Kurals can be appreciated for the intent, or they can be appreciated for how they were crafted. I respect and appreciate Mr. Pruikshma for not altering or censoring the Thirukkural while translating it. He took it into his heart and brought it back out with a new face, not a new soul. Even if one comes across a Kural that they cannot appreciate because no matter how beautiful its form, its message simply cannot be interpreted in a way that pleases them, I believe that's still okay. That Kural is a connection to a different time, a different mind. Good or bad, history is remembered for it to be learned from. It is up to every individual as to what they take from it. Thank you, Mr. Thomas Hitoshi Pruikshma, for giving English readers the chance to think about the Thirukkural.